Students across the country are getting ready to head back to the classroom.
Nearly a third of back-to-school shoppers say they expect to take on debt when they buy school supplies this year. Here to talk about it is Bankrate senior industry analyst Ted Rossman. Ted, thanks for being here today.
Of course, thanks for having me.
So this can all add up. There's not only all of the school supplies you have to get, but the back-to-school clothing. What kind of debt are we talking about? Is it just putting all of that on a credit card or something else?
Credit cards are the most common form of back-to-school debt, although about 1 in 10 back-to-school shoppers are using buy now, pay later services like Affirm and Afterpay and Klarna. That's debt too. People often don't remember that. You think about, oh, it's just 4 interest-free installments. It's still debt that you have to pay back. And actually, increasingly, those plans are lasting longer than the previous 6 weeks, and some of them actually do charge interest. So you do want to be careful about that. It could work, but it could also be a slippery slope to overspending. The National Retail Federation says the average K-12 back-to-school shopper is spending $875 per child this year. That's down $15 from last year, but it's still the second highest they've ever seen.
Yeah, it is very high right now for so many different things, but school supplies are not exempt. So when you find yourself in that situation, what are some of the things you can do to try to avoid overspending when you're trying to get that list completed?
And by the way, when we're talking about back to school, it's not just pens and notebooks and that sort of thing. It's clothes, it's shoes, it's accessories, backpacks, electronics. Some of the good ways to save include, first of all, taking stock of what you already have. You may have some things from last year and you don't need to buy them again. My wife pointed out to me the other day that we have about 10 pairs of scissors, so we're not going to buy any new ones for our little girls this year. But also things like buy nothing groups. My wife loves those. I mean, you can get gently used clothes and toys and school supplies from friends and neighbors and people in the community. So look into that. Use your credit card rewards. Use your unused gift cards. Maybe consider asking your kid's teacher, what do we really need on day one versus what can wait until after Labor Day, because that's when things go on deeper sales.
All right. Any other time of year? It's a little late now, but if you're thinking ahead, is there a specific time when you might be able to save some money on these supplies when it's not that prime time back to school season?
Increasingly, Amazon's midsummer sale, Amazon Prime deal days, they run that in July. That's actually become sort of the unofficial kickoff to the back to school season. So sometimes the early bird gets the worm. Believe it or not, we're starting to think about the holidays. I know some people think it's way too early for that, but October has really become the start of the holiday shopping season now. So I feel like all of these seasons start a bit earlier every year, whether we're talking back to school or holiday shopping or anything else.
And how much does it help to just have a list in place too? Because I know if you go there and you're just thinking, just throw the stuff in the cart, you may overspend there.
It's a smart idea to put a list and a budget together. I like the idea of involving your kids in some of those buying decisions. Even young kids, start to teach them about trade-offs. If they want to splurge on the backpack with their favorite cartoon characters, well, then you have to cut back somewhere else. That's really the essence of personal finance and being a smart shopper. It's never too early to learn those lessons. So I do like the idea as early as elementary school about sharing the budget with your kid, helping them make these trade-offs. It can ward off some of the fights too, because one form of compromise is let's spend the money as we wish, but when it's out, it's out. We're not going back for more.
Life lessons. Good time to teach those when we're heading back to school. All right, Bankrate senior industry analyst Ted Rossman, thanks so much for joining us today.
No problem. Thanks.